Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be moving our arms. We're ideally going to be moving our arms overhead. Now, if that is too much for you, maybe you have a shoulder injury, maybe you have a disability, maybe you just have a pain day today, you don't need to go all the way overhead. You could just come to whatever height is available to you. And if having your arms out straight feels really strenuous because it's heavy, just bring a bend into the elbows and kind of do like W's to cactus arms, okay? But first we're gonna start off in mountain pose, just finding that height, that stackedness from the feet to the knees, to the pelvis, to the rib cage, to the shoulders, to the head, finding that length through your body, creating space between your joints, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. Taking some nice deep breaths. For good measure, you can roll the shoulders up, back, and down. All right. So first we're going to begin by moving the right arm only. You can have your palm facing forward. And we're going to inhale as we start to bring the arm up. And just notice what sensations happen through the arm, through the shoulder, through the neck, through the rib cage and chest. We're making this really slow, okay? Like if you think you're going slow, go slower. We're gonna bring the arm down. As you bring the arm down, notice if anything starts to unhappen, so to speak. So maybe you can get your arm overhead to a certain point and you can keep going further, but maybe it starts to hurt or be sore or feel like it takes more effort. Or maybe you start to actually help the hand along by side bending through your body. If you watch my shoulder, if I demonstrate this, the angle at my shoulder is no longer changing, but my hand is moving higher overhead. The movement's coming from my spine. So right now we're just going to play with what happens as you bring that arm up. Can you bring it up and keep a quiet spine? Okay, now let's let this arm rest for a moment. Let's come to the other side. Don't mind my crooked arm. So same idea, you're just feeling for where things get resistance. This arm isn't moving as far today in my body, so I'm just going to be ending it a little early. Okay, and I'm just keeping in mind, is my spine tall and straight? Have I lost mountain pose through my torso in order to move my arm? Am I shrugging my shoulder up to my ear? Am I clenching my jaw? Am I holding my breath? Am I shifting my weight in my feet? I'm slowly getting a little more range. And sometimes that's the whole point. You can get more range just through repetition and showing your body how you want it to move. If you keep moving beyond what it can do on its own, you just keep getting better and better at using other parts of your body to move something. Okay, bring the arm down. Let it hang out for a moment. We're going to return to the right arm, so we're going to bring it up wherever you're able to do comfortably and without losing that mountain pose through your torso. And then once we're there, at roughly overhead, now the shoulder is going to stop moving and we are going to start to side bend through the torso, lengthening through that same side body, grounding that foot. So I've got my right arm up, I'm lengthening through my right side body and I'm grounding down intentionally through my right heel so that I don't just do this kind of thing. Come down. So come back to the mountain pose in the back and then lower the arm. We're going to switch to the other side. So arm comes up to where it can go, just moving entirely on its own. Once it's hit its ending point, ground through that same side heel, start to lengthen through that side body, really focusing the movement between the top of the pelvis and the armpit, to truly target the side body and not just move into stretching through the side of the legs and the hips. Okay, start to bring your torso back to mountain. Once it's in mountain, start to lower that arm. Now, another thing I will point out, we're going to do that one more time on each side. I'm going to turn to my side so that you can see me here. We're going to inhale the right arm up. Just the arms moving, the torso is still in mountain pose. Once the arm has reached where it can go, we're going to start to side bend through the torso. What you want to watch for is that this right shoulder and arm doesn't start to collapse forward. We want to keep the chest squared to the front of the mat. So you might need to intentionally send your right shoulder back a smidge just to counter that tendency to roll and twist forward. Bringing the torso back through mountain. Once your torso's back in mountain, starting to lower that arm. Okay, other side, beginning to inhale the left arm up. Torso remains quiet. Once your left arm has reached where it can go, start to ground through that left heel, lengthening through the left side body, keeping that chest square with the front of the mat. All right, bringing the torso back through to mountain. Once that's there, beginning to lower the arm back to the side. All right, so that may have been a little bit of a strengthening practice for your arms to go overhead repeatedly. It starts to get a little tiring after a while. Hopefully, maybe that's warmed up your shoulder joints and they're feeling a little more mobile. Maybe you've become a little more aware of your shoulder moving versus your spine moving. A little bit of balance as we shifted our weight over our center of gravity and had to kind of keep everything below stable. I hope that that was a good little practice for you and gives you some ideas of how you can kind of just do something super quick when you're out and about in your regular daytime and have a moment to spare. All right? I will see you next week.